happy Valentine's Day, friends. I'm Claire McKee, and this is Real Talk San Diego. We're bringing you the business of life in America's finest city. My friends, actually, wait, scratch that. My friend from Golden West Management is back, and they're our preferred property management here at Real Talk San Diego. And we're talking all things commercial versus residential real estate and investments today. But you already know Jason Yoss, you're the president of Golden West Management.
Good to be here.
How's it going?
Very good.
You wore your pink tie?
I did it Valentine's Day.
I like it. You're on it.
Try to be.
We're so coordinated. We're so coordinated. And joining us is Travis Carter. He's the Senior Vice President of Hughes Marino. Hi, Travis.
Hi.
Thanks for being here.
Very welcome.
Are you ready to have some fun?
I am excited.
Did Jason warn you about the crazy questions we start with?
Oh, did I not tell you that?
Did
I'm
he
sorry.
not give you a warning?
He gave me nothing.
Nothing. Okay, so first off, I need to know, are we fired up that it's Valentine's Day? Like, woo!
Absolutely. Travis,
Yeah.
I'm down.
Yeah, so I was saying I'm not a big fan of Valentine's Day. I think it declines after 5th grade. It just is a steady holiday that just gets worse.
We don't make boxes and like decorate our little, Valentine's
Where's my hearts on
boxes.
here that I'm supposed to little be my Valentine candies?
yeah.
Those things are awesome though.
Someone gave me those actually. Feel free to throw those at me throughout the day.
Right.
Do you guys have any plans tonight? Are we
Uh,
laying low, not getting into the craziness of Valentine's
yeah,
Day?
probably staying at home with my beautiful wife. I love you, Devin, and the kids.
Cool, same.
Yeah, same.
It's not worth it, I don't think, personally.
Yeah. I agree. I think, like I said, I mean, hanging out in 5th grade when friends are passing out envelopes and stuff. That's definitely the pinnacle, and I think as
Yeah.
you get older, it gets worse.
The
so.
peak of Valentine's Day. Hey, well, since it's the day of love, and you shouldn't talk about love or be nice to people on the regular, just on Valentine's Day. Our questions are going to be all about love. So we're going to play 2 truths and a lie, but we're each going to share 2 things we love. Well, 3 things we love, but 1 we don't really love so much, okay? So we're going to figure out who's bluffing. I'm going to go first. My 3 are I love talking on the phone, I love public speaking, and I love shopping. I love talking on the phone, I love public speaking, I love shopping.
I'm going to say the thing that you don't love is talking on the phone.
Okay.
I'm going to go with talking on the phone as well. You're so well put together, and of course, we're live every day.
Everybody hates talking on the phone.
Yeah,
Some
nowadays
people
it's
love
different.
that.
Man. Really?
My girlfriends call me and want to talk for days, and I'm like, can we just text? I don't want to. Okay, you got me. That was obviously super obvious.
Yeah.
All right, Jason, what do you have?
I got to
We're gonna
remember
call
what I
your bluff.
wrote. Hold on.
Check your little document.
Okay, mine is I love winter surfing. I love skiing with the family, and I love playing with the kids after work. These are all wonderful things.
I hope that it's not the second or the third, so I'm going to go with the you don't like winter surfing. That's my guess. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to go with
You
surfing
guys
as
know
well.
me. You know me well, man.
What are you going to say? You don't like playing with your children?
I try to make it somewhat, Look, it's cold out there, and as everybody says there's great waves right now. There are, I'll give you that, but it's cold. If I got to put on a 4-3 wetsuit, that's not happening for me.
Yeah.
So May, June-ish, I'm ready.
Just double up on
I'm
your
ready.
wetsuit.
I
You'll
think
be
it's
all
like
right.
July, August.
July, I like
Yeah.
where your head's at, July,
That's true.
August,
It
yeah.
really doesn't warm up
Absolutely.
very
It
much
just,
here.
yeah, exactly.
All right, Travis, what do you got for us?
It was a confusing way it was worded. It was like, what do you not love? And so I don't really love that many things to begin with. So I had to think of some. I love when people turn on the window washer fluid on the freeway.
Yes.
I love
Yes.
when you go for the soap and it squirts just everywhere,
Right.
but your hands. And then I wrote, I love public speaking.
Absolutely.
Wait, are those 3 things you hate?
I know.
Okay, I'm gonna definitely go with the window wipe.
Okay.
That's just terrible on the freeway.
Yeah.
That's the
Jason,
one I'm going
I
with.
will admit it right now. It drives me nuts. I don't know why people think it's like the most appropriate time to just after you get your car washed and it's just
Going
sprays up.
80.
Going 80.
It's like raining.
I think they think it spreads out on their windshield better, when you're going really fast like that.
Yeah. No, it does. And it's
Right.
definitely totally normal to do. But
Yeah.
no one's behind you.
Yeah.
But the soap dispenser's got to be number 2. Like you can't love the soap dispenser thing either. I've been there
You
with
know,
you, pump,
and I was
and then
thinking
just
about
like,
that, and I through the audible in, but it doesn't hurt to wash your clothes every once in a while.
Okay.
So, I do love that.
It's secretly convenient. You're just bathing yourself.
Here we go.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, I'm with you about the windshield wipers because then you're driving behind them. You're like, wait, did I go through a rain cloud? You like
Right.
look around for a moment. Like, is it raining?
And with most people on their phones while driving, you know that's distracting when you're like this, like, whoa, it's raining. I was like,
So I admit it. I mean, if someone does that, I go aggressively in front of them and just give it right back.
You do it to them?
Yeah.
nothing
Nope.
incriminating, but yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah,
No.
I have a few times.
You don't have to hold anything back here, Travis. Your secrets are safe with us and the rest of the Facebook world. Tara Covington said, ha ha ha, I do that on the freeway. So thanks for commenting. I think we all do. Yuri, we miss you. Thank you. We think you look great. I'm sure you always look great. So she agrees the water is too cold in the
Right,
winter.
she knows me well.
Keep sending in your comments, questions. We are live. That's the best thing about Facebook Live is that we get to interact with you, our audience. So drop us your comments below. We'll answer your questions on air. And we are just getting started. So just a reminder, I'm here with Jason Yass. He's the president of Golden West Management, and Travis Carter, senior vice president at Hughes Marino. So Travis, why don't you start out by sharing with us a little bit about Hughes Marino? What are you all about?
We are a commercial real estate company. It's based here in San Diego that just represents tenants and buyers of commercial real estate. So most commercial real estate companies represent landlords. Their main business is listing buildings for lease,
Okay.
managing buildings, selling buildings. Everything is geared towards representing landlords, and everything we do at Hughes Marino is exclusively on behalf of companies. So we help companies in the search for new office space for lease, for purchase. And we have a team of 80 people throughout California, and we have a new office in Seattle. And our primary customer is a CEO of a company between 5 employees to 500.
Okay, awesome. So if you own a business, you can take care of them for the most part.
Exactly.
Cool. So one of the most important things you do, kind of on the opposite end of things, is that you work directly for the landlord. So kind of explain that to us.
So obviously what we do is a little bit different in terms of not on the commercial side, but we're on the residential side of Golden West. But yes, we do work exclusively for the landlord. So when tenants or prospective renters are coming and looking at properties, we're absolutely going to show them and make sure that they're being treated fairly with respect and they get the property they love. But at the end of the day, we have a fiduciary responsibility to the owner of that property.
And so tell me how you going to bat for the landlord ultimately affects their bottom line over time.
Right. So I think one of the biggest things, and it's important to note, is that not every client has representation. So for us, for Golden West, when we do represent a client like a landlord, how we're able to watch out for their bottom line is threefold. Number one, starting with we help them screen and choose the tenant. That's one of the biggest things that we're able to do for a client. If we can't help them pick the right tenant, especially in California, they're in for a tough time. And not just people who won't pay the rent on time, but they'll destroy the property, and it's so tough in this state to try to evict somebody. I think number two, we're that voice of reason. All right, we have a lot of times our landlord isn't sure, am I supposed to repair this or should I do that? And for us, we're able to tell them as experts of the area and the local landlord-tenant law with a lot of experience, we're able to say, hey, this is one where you definitely want to work to, placate the tenant, or this is one where, hey, you have the appropriate documentation to stand your ground. And I think lastly, again, the day-to-day. Landlords, they have their own job. A lot of people are bankers, bakers, candlestick makers, and we simply handle property management. So that's what we do all day, every day. And that's something that we can provide to a landlord that maybe somebody else cannot.
Well, and I think by having somebody who's kind of advocating for all parties, essentially, sure, you're working for your client who's the landlord, but by saying, you probably should do that improvement, you're creating happy tenants who stay longer as well.
I think Travis would say it the best. It's a conflict of interest. If you don't have a separate agent or a separate party representing both sides, there is a lot of chances where you can put yourself in hot water.
Sure.
And you're not doing the best for either the landlord or the tenant. So I agree, representing one side of the transaction or the other is important.
And so you never, Travis, at Hughes Marino, work with landlords, right? You work specifically with the business owner?
Correct. Our primary business, our customers, companies. We do help companies get in the space and get out of space. But yeah, our fiduciaries to get the lowest rent, the highest amount of concessions, and the most flexible lease. And landlords, their primary job is to do the opposite. and they hire brokers to do that for them.
So explain to me a little bit more about what they get when they work with Hughes Marino. Like if I'm an owner of a business, why can't I just go shop for some office space myself, right?
Yeah, no, and you can. I think with nowadays, there's so much online, and so the benefit of working with Hughes Marino is you get an intended advocate representing your interests. We bring full transparency of the process. So there's no transparency in commercial real estate, and you have landlords and brokers. Everyone's working for the landlords. So we level the playing field. We bring all the transparency. We're not beholden to any landlords. So we show our clients every single available option. We give our recommendations. We represent 300 to 500 companies every year.
Wow.
So we know the market well. We know what concessions to ask for, where to push. And we don't even ask, it doesn't cost our clients. They're not paying us hourly. They're not paying us, so we get paid a commission if a deal's consummated.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so we bring, it's like the easiest sell to work with, like a broker that represents tenants, because we save you tons of time and money, and we have a ton of fun doing it.
So on the other side of things, I'm just curious, why is there such a lack of transparency in commercial real estate compared to residential?
Gosh, I know.
You probably want to know the answer to that too.
I know, it is.
Why is it so different?
I think with, I think that that's a good, really good question. I think the types of owners in commercial real estate too, these are these large institutional landlords with huge buckets of money. And then on the residential side, you have basically everybody either renting or looking to buy property. And so the laws have in some cases, residential's way far ahead of commercial in terms of bringing transparency. Like for example, like when a house sells, and I'm a homeowner across the street, I can pull up the comp, and then everyone knows there's full access. Even nowadays, there's full access to what's available for purchase and lease, and so it's fantastic. It's leveling the playing field. You get the real value of what real estate is, and there's none of that. Nothing's posted online. Nothing's shared. There's no it's all confidential stuff.
Right. In fact, I don't know what my neighbor pays square footage in rent, because a part of it is I believe sometimes we sign non-disclosure, so we can't tell the others what we're paying in rent.
Yeah.
Right, so.
Yeah.
Interesting. So it's a whole nother ball game, really.
And it's much more complicated. The contract is 100 pages versus 10 pages.
It seems like it's getting longer.
Right.
There's some landlords out there trying to make it shorter, but yeah, it seems that there's a lot of attorneys involved in commercial real estate. So with that comes.
And I think that's a huge value proposition to working with Hughes Marino, is that you have a team of attorneys on there to really make sure that your contracts are rock solid, right?
So we do not provide legal advice. We have attorneys on staff to help make sure, because here's the thing. So we'll negotiate a great deal, a great outcome, and what was called a non-binding proposal. And once the parties have kind of verbally agreed, it goes into a lease document process. We've done thousands of leases. Haven't seen one lease that's consistent or literally consistent, 100% consistent with the proposal that we agreed upon. So it's a whole new renegotiation. And so we have a team of experts to help advise our clients, say, hey, point out, here's the things that you might suggest you push back on, or here's the things that are different.
Yeah, what happened to this? Where did that go?
Yeah, exactly. And these documents can be extremely lengthy, and so we have a team of experts just to help advise our clients, and here are the things you might ask, or things that you might run by your in-house counsel or outside counsel.
Well, I mean, just talking to you for 10 minutes and hearing very high level about this, I wouldn't want to try to figure that out as a business owner and like call in, hey, do you have space available? You don't know what you're getting into. It's not your expertise.
Yeah, I think you brought up a good point about just the brain damage that's associated with a lot of things. I mean, I used to, mow my lawn and trim things, and I had this gardener who's representing our neighbor, and he had all the houses on the street and did their landscaping. I'm like, okay, let's give him a shot. He shows up with his truck. He has all the tools, and he's monitoring the sprinklers, and he's monitoring the water, and he's touching and feeling. He shows up, he cleans it, and he leaves, and it's like, wait a minute, and it's like, why wouldn't I do that? And that's kind of the way I think life is, right? We use our phones for Amazon or for property management or for real estate listing. It's like, could you do it? Yeah, you could easily do it. It's just not the right decision.
Do
Yeah.
you want to?
Right.
Are you going to get the best outcome by
Yeah.
doing it yourself?
Yeah.
And I think that comes back to my next question for you, Jason. If I'm a landlord, why don't I just throw up an ad on Craigslist and find my own tenants and, someone will get in there, right?
It's a great question. You know what? With today's technology, like Travis was saying, anybody can go on the internet and post a listing. And if that is all that you believe is part of managing the property or renting it out, then be careful, because there's a lot more to it than that. And first and foremost, if you're not careful, okay, you're gonna get the wrong tenant simply from maybe overpricing the property because you went on Zillow and you said, oh, Zillow says it's this much, so that's when I'm gonna post the property, and that turns out to be not exactly correct. Now you've gone and you sat on the market for 30 days, and then, okay, now somebody comes along that may not be perfect, but you need to get the property rented, so you
Right.
stretch. So there's a lot of things that landlords make mistakes with while they're only paying half attention to doing it. So that's something that, as a professional, we can take a lot of that burden off your plate. And not to mention just the other tools, like the ability to get detailed comps, the experience to know what's that market, actually performing like. What is the, what are tenants really paying? What are they looking for? What's the feedback? These are systems and tools we have. Like Travis said, I show up with all these things while you might be very intelligent, which you are obviously, and there's a lot of stuff online you can do, but it's going to take you a lot more time and energy to find it, and you may not have the experience to deal with every situation that comes across. It's a percentage game. You may rent your home 3 or 4 times over the next 5 years and have no problem. But we rented 3 or 4 properties today.
Right.
All right. So over time, if you're not doing it to the appropriate standards, you're going to have an issue. It's just percentage. And if you don't know how to approach that issue with the proper solutions when the time is right, it's going to cost you money. And that's what it comes down to, money.
Let's go into that a little bit more.
Right.
What can happen if a bad tenant gets into your property? Walk us down that rabbit hole.
Well, there's a lot of different scenarios. Every scenario is a little bit different. I love to say, like reality TV, there's no 2 days that are alike, and that's the truth. But the bottom line, if a tenant doesn't pay in the state of California, you got to start with it, serving them with a notice to quit. All right, and if they don't pay within that time frame after the notice is served, then you're going to start with filing in Superior Court downtown and having them served. They have a chance to answer that filing. If they don't answer, then you can be granted the eviction, and then you can move to getting the writ of restitution.
And this is weeks and months that could be going by
It could
while
be
this is happening.
anywhere from 27 to 90 days, depending on how the tenant responds, how you file your motions. For us at Golden West, we use professional eviction specialists, all right? Because I'm an expert in real estate, and I've been to court several times, but it doesn't make me the Juris Doctorate. Right?
You're not knocking on people's doors?
That's not what
It's time to
what
go.
I do. So we hire the right professionals to do that. But again, it's lost rent, okay, and a lot of times it's a damaged property, and most of the time when I go back and look at the application for the tenant, that's where I find, like, we rented to this person. Didn't what we saw on paper tell us already? The FICO scores were less than 600. They didn't make 2.5 times the rent and verifiable income. I got a nice sob story letter about how this, and that happened, and you can't run my credit because I've had identity theft. And look, is some of that true sometimes? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But we're there to help protect. We see these applications all the time. We're there to help protect you and
Yeah.
save you the time and energy while you're going through that process.
And you've seen it so many different cases that you're probably less likely to be swindled or fall for some,
Well, again,
small red flag.
I give it back to like what Travis is saying. I've rented as a CEO of Golden West. I've leased 5, 6, 7 buildings. Again, Travis did that, this month. So when I think I know what I'm doing, Travis probably has seen that 10 times over. All right, and it can be so complex that you want an expert just to bounce ideas off of.
True.
Like, a lot of things that we talked about before, but TIs, negotiating rents, are you sure I can't get $2 a square foot? I know they listed it for $4, but in my gut, I think 2 is good, right?
I gotcha. So we are rocking and rolling. Make sure to leave your comments for us below or ask us questions and we'll answer them live. You may be wondering whether you should hire a property manager or maybe you're looking to lease a new space for your office. So send your questions in. We'd love to hear from you. So I'm hearing a lot of similarities, but there's also a lot of differences. And I think one of the biggest is probably the process itself. So maybe Travis, come back to me and share, what does the process look like? Is this something that CEOs should be looking at a year out, 6 months out?
Great question. We get calls when people need space in like 2 weeks.
Yeah,
right? So it's-
tomorrow.
Yeah, it happens.
Wow.
They got something changes in their business, and they either need to downsize, they need to expand, and they're so busy running their business, and so we can take care of them. It's not ideal. In a perfect world, you'd have 6 months to a year to plan in advance. Not because you need to find a space tomorrow, but it gives us time to negotiate, look at options that might not be available. I mean, you can't go build a new building in 2 weeks. You can't go even do paint and carpet in 2 weeks.
Right.
So, the longer we have, the longer we like going back and forth. We
Yeah.
love negotiating. It's like, it's what I was born to do, is negotiate. And so, and when I get time to negotiate, that's like, don't take that away. You know?
Don't take that away from me.
Yeah.
So negotiation, though, that's really different from like any time I've ever leased an apartment or rented an apartment. I'm not negotiating the price. Like
that's a good point.
they're not going to change it. So explain to that process a little bit and how that's different in
Yeah,
commercial.
I think that's kind of the reason what Jason mentions. Like, I don't know what my neighbor's paying. I think if every company, they have different credit, they have different visions for the business, they have different businesses. So you have law firms who lease office space, and then you have software companies, and then you have companies who just were started 2 weeks ago, and then you have a successful large company like a Qualcomm or something. So they all have different objectives. They all feel comfortable with how long of a lease. Maybe they want to buy, maybe they want to build. They want flexibility. The company might get sold. So it's figuring, it's all that massaging, and then they all have different credit. And then they all have different preferences. Like, some of their employees commute from, Chula Vista, and some commute from Carlsbad, and some. So you're looking at different submarkets, and you have different landlords, and so you're constantly you're looking at all that. What was the original question again?
Like, what are we negotiating?
Oh yeah,
'cause
so you're negotiating. When does the lease start, and how long of a lease? Landlords want 5 years. What do you feel comfortable with?
Oh wow, so that's much longer too than
Yeah, and a lot of our
leasing
clients
your
want 6
apartment.
months, or not 6 months, but there's some clients that want 6 months.
Right.
There's some that want 3 years. So you're negotiating, when does the lease start, when does the lease stop, what's the base rent, and the rent's negotiable. It's in commercial real estate, everything is negotiable. It is everything, like literally
interesting.
everything. So,
Well, you're not going to get that in residential. You don't get to
Right.
you don't get to redo
well,
the
I
kitchen.
say everything, right? And they go, well, wait a minute, how come my rent's going up 3% every single year, and how come I have to pay operating expenses? Or so we like to keep it a fresh mindset, because we really don't know where the landlord would stretch to make a deal. There are standards, there are comps, and there's things that there is a supply and demand element, like it is in residential,
Okay.
where certain things, it's like, here's what the market is, and the market supports what it supports.
And if you're in a prime location, I can imagine with other things around you, that probably makes a difference.
Yeah, well, we like to start with a blank canvas, and to the extent we can get more opportunities. I think there's a business bank in town that says, when banks compete, you win.
Right.
And it's with tenants, when landlords compete, tenants win.
Right.
And so whatever we can do to create a level platform, you're guaranteed a good result.
Share with us a little bit about the process of your world a bit on the residential side.
Well, it's definitely, as Travis said, it's different. And starting with just a time frame, we're not looking. We don't have prospects looking to lease out a property 6 months to a year. It's more 30 to 60 days on average. But you get those 2 weeks. Hey, I need to get in tomorrow, and we can do that. The second part about it is that, again, you're not building out spaces for residential property. I mean, if you don't like the color of the paint, we might be able to work on that, but it's not traditional. But if you don't like the granite countertops, it's not going to change.
Sorry, Charlie.
Yeah, I mean, that's just, you don't get the second story added on, and traditionally leases are for 1 year.
Sure.
So we're going to get a 1 year lease versus maybe a 2, maybe a 6 month, but 3 to 5 years is not usually in the cards.
What about for a landlord who wants to manage their property under you? Is that a pretty quick process? Is that something we need to get in front of a couple months out before they're going to lease it? Like, how does that work?
We like to say, and again, Roy, Teddy handles all.
Shout out to Roy, because he's here in studio.
Teddy, we love you. Teddy handles all our new management business, and he focuses on prospective clients who are thinking about renting out their property. And we're typically telling them, you want to be out in front about 45 to 60 days.
Okay.
That gives us time to get professional photography, get the property staged and set, It also allows you to market the property, and maybe you can test a little bit higher end of the comparable market price range because you got a little more time. We'll let the property go for 10 to 14 days at a certain price, and if it's not getting any hits, okay, let's make a bold adjustment. Let's get back into the more conservative end of the market so we can get it rented.
Gotcha.
But at Golden West, we're telling our clients that if you price appropriately, your property's going to be rented within 17 to 20 days.
It's a hot market out there.
It is
It
a
is
market. It is.
wild.
It is.
I do not look forward to ever finding my next apartment. But I wanted to talk about, you two actually have worked together. Travis assisted Golden West in finding your office space. And so were you like negotiating for like gold plated ceilings and stuff for Jason?
Absolutely.
I can imagine he likes things high end, you know?
Well, Jason loves to negotiate too. Everybody does, and everybody wants a good outcome. You want a good deal. I mean, if you go buy a car, if you go, whatever it is, you want to feel like good walking away, that you got the person just pushed, that the person cares.
And we were set up for success because we didn't start 2 weeks ahead of time.
Yeah.
Travis had his full 6+ months to, and no offense to the landlord, but to work on the landlord and massage a deal that, at the end of the day, we were very happy. Not just with Travis and the service he gives, but with the space we got.
How many spaces did you look at when you were searching? I'm just curious, like what's the norm or the average?
Well, in Jason's case, he's in Carmel Valley, which is one of the highest rent districts in San Diego. But he sees a value being Carmel Valley because of where it's central, the amenities, and where his people expect maybe Golden West to be. And so he was growing, right? He's been adding employees nonstop. He's running a very successful business.
Brush that dirt off your shoulder.
Yeah. He's killing it. And
Flattery will get you everywhere, Travis.
Yeah. I mean, he's just growing, and so he said, "Look, man, I got to keep up with my customers, and they're calling me, and yada yada yada. I need some office space." And so we looked at. I gave him a glance of where the thing is, and I said, "Hey, look, there's some better value options here. There's some better options there."
Right.
He goes, I want to be here, and so I think we even said, you know what, let's take a break because it was the market was heating up so much.
Right.
And then, sure enough, there was a client in the sister building that needed a downsize, and they said, "Hey, look, the furniture, they've outgrown the space.
Right.
They're putting up for sublease, which you can do." And so I said to Jason, what do you think about taking a look at this? It doesn't have much term left, but we can get in for 30% less and grow the business and see where it goes. So long story short, we ended up doing that deal, and then as that lease came up for renewal, we negotiated with the master landlord and got a better outcome we would have achieved a year to 18 months prior.
Absolutely.
So it was home run after home run. I mean, it
Awesome.
worked out that way, and part of it's timing, part of it's people might say you got lucky, but you put yourself in a position to get lucky.
Yeah.
And that's what we did.
That's right.
Absolutely.
You're putting yourself in a position to get lucky. And again, if we would have started 2 weeks out, or there's a whole host of things, because we had looked in that building in the beginning, and Travis is right. We calmed down. The market was way too hot, and then I think the market changed, and we were in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
They needed us again. That was good. It's a
Yeah.
good feeling to be wanted, right? It's,
Yeah.
it's a good feeling to be wanted by the landlord. And also, one of the things I want to add about the sublease, which I think was a great idea, is that the master landlord was able to know who they're negotiating with. Like, hey, that company pays their rent on time.
Right.
Hey, that, you have a tenant and they're a nightmare. Why do you want to negotiate with them? But we were,
Right.
I'd like to say, knock on wood, probably because of Yuri and Roy, that we were good tenants, and so it probably helped set Travis up for success when he was doing the negotiation. So.
They got a little taste of Golden West. They wanted more. I get it. So, Jason, one of the things that I kind of want to debunk on here, a little myth, is that people see these massive apartment complexes and they automatically assume, oh, that must be commercial.
Right.
But it's residential if you're living there no matter what, right?
We hear the terms, I think, interchange quite a bit. And what I like to tell a lot of the prospective clients is, look, if you're looking for a multifamily and it's residential, obviously, that's what's going to fall under it. If you say commercial, I'm thinking, and most of us in this industry are thinking what Travis does, office
Right.
space, warehouse space, we're even strip malls, but we're not thinking that's a residential property. So you may look on LoopNet or Greystar still to find that 500 unit complex, but if it's residential, it's not commercial, and there's a difference. If it's a business living inside versus somebody occupying to live.
Which just like made me think, what about the places, I'm really challenging you right now, just kidding. You have like storefronts on the
Mixed
first
use,
floor,
right?
and then you have, yeah,
Mixed
what
use.
does that mean?
So mixed use, and Travis probably does a lot of mixed use where the management company will be able to manage both the commercial space below. They know how to work with a gross or a net or a triple net, and as well as the residential on top.
Okay.
But a lot of times, Travis will be bringing that commercial business into the bottom floor, and somebody like myself will probably be filling up the top floor.
It's a commercial dental.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on. So Travis, I want to hear, what's the best advice you'd give to an owner of a company looking for a new space to rent?
Ooh.
And I'm coming to you with the next same question, so start thinking.
Appreciate that, Zep.
Well, I would be looking for someone to find someone you trust, and so you can make some phone calls and say, hey, look, I'm a company, or we're gonna be looking for some space soon. We want to interview 3 commercial real estate companies or 3 brokers or whoever, and spend 10, 15 minutes and get a feel. I mean, how they work, how they operate. Some use exclusive agreements, some don't. Some specialize in certain submarkets, some don't. Usually, business owners don't have to pick up the phone and call because the brokers are calling.
Yeah, okay.
We know who the CEOs are. We know a lot of the companies, most cases. So usually they're getting inundated with 50 phone calls a time. But I think starting the process with getting an advocate, somebody that you trust and you like, and you can see yourself working with for 6 months to a year, and finding space, and then start the relationship. I would say. Certainly you want landlords to compete for your business. So working with one broker's highly recommended.
Gotcha.
And work with somebody, but make them earn it. Make them not feel like they have to sign an exclusive and they're signing their rights away.
That's what I was just going to ask you. Are there any questions that people should definitely be asking the brokers they're interviewing?
Yeah, I think for starters, who's your primary client? Are you going to be? Do you have potential conflicts of interest? Outside of just how you get paid, how does that work? What's your transparency, and how do you negotiate on behalf? What's your experience in representing other companies in this area? Tell me about a client win. Do people like you? Nowadays, with like LinkedIn and things, you can look out how people, if they're endorsed or how long they've been at that company. That's the start.
Yeah, do your research, ask the right questions, don't be shy. This is a relationship you're going to be, with for a while, so don't be shy. Get educated.
Right. And Travis said it great, and I think that gets missed a lot in our industry is the relationship of who you're working with. It's a partnership, and if you're not comfortable with your partner, you're going to have a problem. All right. And when something happens, you want to feel comfortable that you can turn to your partner and say, hey, can you help me? And have the confidence that they know what they're doing, they have the experience, they've been through these battles before, and they can be there to assist.
Yeah, they're really going to go to bat for you. Jessica Hunsinger said great information. Thanks for watching, Jessica. And Yuri's given us a little slogan.
Yeah.
Do you want to say it? I'll let you know.
Yuri, rent it like you mean it.
Thanks, Yuri. Travis, Senior Vice President of Hughes Marino. You can go to hughesmarino.com. Do you want to give out a phone number, any other contact information, or is that a good place to start?
I'll give you my phone number.
You don't have to.
Yeah, I know, huh? Well, I'm not going to give myself. I don't know who's out there strolling around, but you can Google us and you can find out hughesmarino.com. Our phone number is 619-238-2111. And we'd love to, even if there's not an opportunity for us to work together, if there's not a real estate assignment and you're a business owner and you're based in San Diego, we want to meet with you. 100%. So, and we're relationship based. We're not hunting for deals. We're looking for ways to add value, and we've built this whole company around is adding value outside of just doing real estate, so that when an opportunity comes to represent a company, we're the first person they think about, and it's very natural. We're not pitching.
Even if it's a year or two from now.
I don't even care if it's 10 years.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm gonna be doing this the rest of my life. So it's like it's a small town, and that's the best part about being in San Diego. And so, anyways,
awesome.
We're fortunate enough to do that.
Good stuff. Thanks, Travis. And one more time, that's hughesmarino.com for more information. Jason, what's your takeaway? What should people remember?
Especially as far as residential property management goes, you want to have a professional that has the experience to be on your side, especially in San Diego and California, which is very landlord and tenant friendly. You want somebody who's going to be able to go to bat for you when something bad happens. Okay. Now, that being said, can you prevent everything? No, but we can give you the tools for success, whether that be renting the property, handling maintenance, repairs, or just trying to figure out, okay, what do we do next? Anyway, Golden West Management, www.goldenwestmanagement.com, and you can definitely see Yuri or myself, and then, of course, Teddy. Roy, we love you.
Give a little fist pump action. Awesome. Well, thank you all so much for watching today. This has been Real Talk San Diego, coming to you live from Smarter San Diego Studios. We're bringing you the business of life in America's finest city. It's Valentine's Day, so you have to go love everyone extra today, and we'll catch you next time. I'm Claire McKee. Thanks for watching.